Now let us move towards actually synthesizing any network by using a given network function, which may be in the form of impedance function or admittance function. So suppose your network function is given in the form of impedance function. So you can represent this impedance function in the summation of in the form of summation of two functions. So let me call them as z1s plus z2s. So any polynomial using the partial fraction method, you can just divide it into the two polynomials depending on the number of poles or zeros it has. So how you can represent this function, since this is an impedance function, physically you can represent it as the series combinations of two functions, the first of which is z1s and second of which is z2s, right? And this whole thing will be zs, which is nothing but your hs. Similarly, if your hs function is in the form of admittance function, which is basically summation of two admittance function y1s and y2s, then for this function, you already know that admittances are written as the parallel combination. So this will be your y2s, this will be your y1s, and this whole thing will be ys. So this is how you put any of the given function, whether it is in the form of impedance or admittance, into the practical physical form. Now let us come to the point of discussion where we are actually going to realize circuits, or take the components out of the given network function into the physical form. So the first of which is removal of pole at infinity. And I already told you that pole at infinity means there is a difference in the order of the numerator and denominator by one, because there is one pole at infinity. And if we have to remove it, or we have to take it in the physical form, and then we will leave the remaining network function hs in the form of mathematics itself. So for the sake of removing that pole, we have to first see that if the nominator power is greater than the denominator power by one or not. So in this polynomial, we see that the highest power of nominator is n plus 1, and the highest power of denominator is n. So there is a method called long division. How do we do it? So for we have to take one simple example. Let us take this only. So you have a n plus 1 sn plus 1 plus an sn and so on, and you have to divide it by bn sn plus bn minus 1 sn minus 1 and so on, right? So if you want to get the first term, what will you have to multiply with? This term is going to multiply with some term so that you get this term. So obviously there will be one s, and then obviously there will be a n plus 1. And since there is a term bn divided here, so you have to divide it by bn. So if you multiply this first term with this term, you are going to get this term. So you will get a n plus 1 sn plus 1 plus how will you get the second term? So to get the second term, you have to multiply this thing with the same this thing. So whatever, you are going to get something. So what will happen is this first term will be cancelled out, and you will be left with some if you subtract this from this, you will be left with some polynomial, right? So this is a long division method, and we will further discuss this in detail also with some examples. So for now on, all you have to see is that there will be a term a n plus 1 into s divided by bn, you will get as a division quotient. So this term is basically your division quotient. So this whole polynomial can be represented in the form of a n plus 1 divided by bn multiplied by s plus some another polynomial. Let me call it as h2s, yeah, or h1s, whatever, which is remaining after this long division method. So you can further go and divide this h2s to get other terms, but since we are only concerned with removal of the pole at infinity, so what you will be getting is that in the H2S, now your powers of nominator and denominator will be same, and this pole thing is out of the circuit. So now let us assume in the first case this Hs as an impedance function, and in the second case let us assume this Hs as a admittance function, and let us see how will we can take this pole at infinity out in the actual physical circuit. Now in the first case, I have assumed this Hs is an impedance function, which is the ratio of voltage and current. And we have already got by removing this pole at infinity. Let me call this thing as a constant H. Let me call this as a constant H. So H is basically an plus 1 divided by Bn. So now if we write this function again, we will have H into S plus Z2S. Now can you draw this circuit? So you will have if this is an impedance function, what does this H into S represent? Is it a resistor, inductor, or a capacitor? So definitely for an impedance function, this will be representing as an inductor whose inductance value is basically H. So its impedance value will be H into S, right? So it will be in series with impedance, which is Z2S. So this is how your circuit will look like, and this whole thing is nothing but Hs, which is nothing but Zs. So this is how you can take out a pole at infinity from this impedance circuit. Now in the second case, if your Hs is admittance function, so similarly to the previous case, an plus 1 upon bn into s plus, I can write it as plus y2s. Now again let us take it as constant H, so we can write ys is equal to Hs plus y2s. Now this is an admittance function, not an impedance function. So all these things are admittances. So suppose if Hs is let me call it as y1s, so can you tell me what will be the value of z1s? Z1s will be 1 upon Hs. So what does this 1 upon Hs represent? Is it a capacitor? Is it a resistor or an inductor? So this is basically a capacitor which has a value of capacitance H. Sorry, it is a capacitor whose value is H. So don't confuse it with the notations. So if we want to represent this circuit in physical form, what we will have to do, we will have to take a capacitor, and remember the admittances are adding, so you will have to take these components in parallel. So this is your y2s, and this is your H, whose value this, which is the capacitance value, and its value is 1 upon Hs, and this whole thing is ys, right? So this is how you will take a pole at infinity and represent it into the physical form, whether it is in the form of impedance or in the form of admittance. Now let us see the removal of pole at origin and how does this happens. So you can see that the lowest power of the nominator and denominator differ by 1. So here the lowest power is 0, since s has the power of 0, and here the lowest power is 1. When s is multiplied to a naught, it will have the lowest power of 1. So since there is a difference of 1 in the lowest power of nominator and denominator, we will have a pole at 0. So it is very obvious that s is equal to 0 is a pole here. So we have to remove this. So again we are going to use long division method, but in this case it will be reversed. So how does it goes? So we have to write in the previous case for division, remember we have written the highest order first, and here also the highest order first, but in this case we are going to write the lowest order first. So this will be b naught plus, and then so on, then it will go towards bns to the power n, and here also we will be writing s a naught plus, and so on, then an s to the power n plus 1, and so on till now. So how does this division will work? You have to write some quotient here so that you get the first term. So what you will have to multiply, first you have to remove s, so definitely you are going to multiply by 1 upon s, and then you want to get B naught, so you have to multiply it by B naught, but since it also has a naught, so you have to divide by A naught also. So your first quotient value will be B naught upon A naught into 1 upon S. So you are going to get B naught, and then the second term will be multiplied with this quotient and you will get something. And if you subtract this and this, you will get some remainder, right? Remainder will be in the form of polynomial. So the first quotient that you will get is B naught divided by A naught into 1 by S, which is nothing but the lowest coefficient of the lowest degree in the nominator, and also in the denominator, which is the ratio of B naught upon A naught. So HS can be represented as B naught upon A naught into S, plus you will get some other polynomial in the remainder. So let me write it as H2S. Clear? Now, as before, this HS can be represented as either an impedance function or as the admittance function. So let us, for example, in the first case, let me call HS as an impedance function. So it will be B naught upon A naught S plus, let me call it as Z2S, right? Let me say this B naught upon A naught as some constant K. So we can write it as ZS is equal to K upon S plus Z2S. Now you see that this is an impedance function. So can you tell me what this K by S represent? So it will represent a capacitor. So, and what will be the value of that capacitor? So you can write it as 1 upon K multiplied by S, right? You can write it like that also, na? So this function can be physically represented as the series combination of a capacitor in series with this Z2S function, and this capacitance value will nothing but will be 1 by K, or it can be written as K upon S, and this whole thing will be ZS. Now in the second case, if this HS is represented by an admittance function YS, which is basically equal to K by S plus Y2S. So since this function is now representing admittance, so let me call it as Y1S. So if you take the reciprocal of it, the Z1S will be 1 upon K by S, which will be S upon K. So this will basically be representing an inductor whose value is 1 by K. So since this is an admittance function, you are going to get an inductor which will be in parallel with Y2S. So you can write it like this. So the physical circuit will be like this. Its value is 1 upon K, or in the form of inductance, it will be S upon K. And then you will have this admittance Y2S. And this whole thing will be the combination of this and this will be equal to YS. So this is how you remove pole at origin from any given network function, whether it is in the form of impedance or admittance function. Now in the third case, let us take the removal of conjugate pair of poles from any given network function. So suppose if a network function HS is given, let me call it as the combination of H1S and H2S. So H2S can be any arbitrary polynomial, and this H1S is basically have a pair of poles which are conjugate on the j omega axis. So let me say that this H1S has poles at plus minus j omega. So in mathematics, you can represent it like this. HS is equal to, let me call the let me take this K1 as constant, and the first pole will be S plus j omega, and then let me take another constant K2 upon S minus j omega. So this this combination of these both thing will represent basically H1S, right? This K1 and K2 is just a constant I have taken. So all we want to deal with is these poles, which are complex in nature and conjugate, and plus then obviously H2S. So how do we remove this from the circuit or from the polynomial we have, which is HS. So as already told you I that HS can be either ZS or YS. So let us take the first case. HS is equal to ZS, which will be equal to K1 upon S plus J omega plus K2 upon S minus J omega plus Z2S. So this is basically your Z1S. This whole thing is Z1S. So you have to remove these. So you have to represent these into the physical form. So you know that this is an impedance function, and also it is the summation of two impedance functions, right? It is summation of two impedance functions. So let us only discuss about Z1S, which is K1 upon S plus J omega plus K2 upon S minus J omega. So let us merge these two factors into one. So what we will get is S minus J omega into K1 plus K2 into S plus J omega divided by S square plus omega square. So if you multiply these two, you will get S square plus omega square. So ultimately we will get, let's assume K1 is equal to K2 is equal to K. For simplicity, let us assume this. So in this case, we will get finally our Z1S is equal to 2Ks divided by S square plus omega square. So Z1S can also be written as 1 upon S square plus omega square divided by 2Ks, and here also 2Ks. So I have taken the numerator into the denominator. So let me write it as 2Ks, right? So further we can write it as S divided by 2K plus omega square divided by 2Ks. Clear? Now, since you see that this is in the reciprocal form, this whole thing, and what you can say is that this Z1 is nothing but 1 upon Y1S. So this whole thing will be represented something as Y1S. And this Y1S is the summation of two things which will individually represent two admittance functions. So let me call this as YA and this as YB. So you get YA as S upon 2K and YB as omega square upon 2Ks. So if YA is S upon 2K and YB is omega square upon 2Ks, so what are the physical component that these two admittances will be representing? So let me call ZA. ZA will be nothing but will be reciprocal of YA, and which will be 2K upon S, which can also be written as 1 upon 2K into S. So it is basically a capacitor whose value is 1 upon 2K. And then similarly for YB, if we find out ZB, which will be equal to 1 upon YB, so it will be representing like this 2Ks upon omega square. So it will be representing inductor whose value will be 2K upon omega square. So what you can see is that if you go to here, you see that Z1S is basically the parallel combination of one is the capacitor and one is the inductor, which is connected in parallelly, and which whole thing, this whole Z1 thing is connected in series with the Z2S. So what is happening here? This Z1S and this Z2S are basically having summation. So these Z1S and Z2S are in series. This you can see like this. This is your Z1 and this is your Z2. This is in series. But when you go inside Z1, you see that you find a reciprocal of the combination of these two things. And since Z1 is basically reciprocal of Y1, which is admittance function, and here you see that there are two components to Y1, which is YA and YB. So when two admittance functions add in series, they represent two parallel branches, right? So what are these parallel branches? So for finding these parallel branches, I have converted this YA and YB into corresponding ZA and ZB. So which came out to be, one is as capacitor and one as inductor. So what you are going to get is Z1 as a parallel combination of one inductor and a capacitor. What is the value of this inductor? This inductor value is having 2k by omega square. So the value of this inductor is 2k upon omega square. And what is the value of this capacitor? It is 1 upon 2k. So this capacitor is having a value of 1 upon 2k. So this whole combination is basically your Z1s. Clear? And what happens to the other? This is your Z2s, which is in series with this whole combination of Z1s. And this whole thing is ZS or HS. Clear? So I hope you understood this. And for those who did not, let me quickly again repeat it. So we had found Z1 as this, right? We had found Z1 as this. So Z1 is in the reciprocal form. So this whole thing will be representing as Y1s, obviously. And if Y1s is a summation of two different things, these two individually will represent two admittance function, which I have called them YA and YB. So you see that if two admittance functions are in summation, they must be representing a parallel circuit. So we have a parallel circuit with impedance values of ZA and ZB, which are reciprocal of YA and YB. So we had find ZA and ZB, and thus we had find the value of the corresponding capacitors and inductors. But now, since this whole ZS is the series summation of Z1s and Z2s, this Z1s, which came out to be a parallel combination of capacitor and inductor, will be in series with Z2. So our final circuit is this parallel combination of inductor and capacitor in series with Z2s. Clear? Now, in this case, we had taken HS as ZS. Now quickly take this HS as YS, which is nothing but we had already taken this whole thing as 2ks upon s square plus omega square. So let me directly write it as 2ks upon s square plus omega square plus your y2s. Clear? So this thing is your y1s, and I had already told you that if two admittances are being added, then they will represent parallel combination of these two. So this one will be your y1, this one will be your y2s, and this whole thing will be your y. So even though these are in parallel combination, let us see what combination we get for y1s. So let me write it here. Y1s is equal to 2ks upon s square plus omega square. So this I can write it as 1 upon s square upon 2ks plus omega square upon 2ks. Rewriting it, we will get 1 upon s upon 2k plus omega square upon 2k into s. Clear? Now, since this whole thing is y1s, and you already know that y1s is nothing but 1 upon z1s, and here in the denominator, this whole thing can be said as z1s, and this z1s is the series summation of these two things. Let me call it as za and zb. So can you tell me what is za? za is nothing but s upon 2k, and what will it represent? Will it represent an inductor or capacitor? Since s is in the denominator, it will represent an inductor, and inductor will be a value of 1 upon 2k. Clear? And what about zb? So if you see this zb, you will get omega square upon 2k into s. So this represents a capacitor, and whose value is upon 2k upon omega square. So if you take omega here, you will get 2k upon omega square. Now, since these impedances are added here, ZA and ZB are added here, so definitely you are going to get series combination of this inductor and capacitor, one of which values is 1 upon 2k, inductance value, and the capacitor value is 2k upon omega square. So this whole thing is represented as Z1, or if you want to tell it as admittance, this whole thing is Y1, right? Y1s. So this Y1s is in parallel with which one? Like it is given here, Y1s is in parallel with Y2s. And the combination of these two, what will you get? You will get your Ys. So clear? I think I made it very clear that this is how you will remove a conjugate pair of poles from any given network function, whether it is in the form of impedance function or in the form of admittance function, right? So this is how you will do it. Now let us go to the last topic of today's lecture, which is removal of constant. Now a constant can be represented by any constant, so I am taking k. So suppose if you have a network function hs, it can be represented as summation of k and h2s. This k is basically your h1s, first part. So as I already told you, we can represent hs in the form of impedance or admittance. So let's take the first case and call this hs as zs, which will be equal to k plus z2s. So this k is nothing but your z1s. So if this constant is represented by an impedance, then what it can be? It can only be a resistance. So this is nothing but your resistance, which will be taken out. So for an impedance function, if you take out or remove the constant, it represents a resistance in series with Z2. So this will simply be a resistance which will be in series with Z2s, and its value will be K, and this combination will be called as ZS. Simply, similarly, if I take HS as YS and represent it as K plus Y2S, this K will be representing Y1S. So corresponding impedance value will be definitely 1 upon K. So since these are the summations of two admittance function, we are going to get the parallel combination of Y1S and Y2S. And what is your Y2? This is your Y2S. What is your Y1S? Y1S is the basically an impedance function whose value is 1 by K. So since 1 by K is also a constant, it is basically a resistance, and its value is 1 upon K. So it is in parallel with Y2S. So this is Y1S and this is Y2S, and both these things are in parallel. So this whole combination is called Ys. So this is how represent the removal of constant from any network function, whether it is in the form of impedance or admittance function.